Hi friends, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. We just walked into the garden together for an impromptu garden hang. So I decided to bring you guys along and we are just going to kind of hang out in the garden just for a little bit. I have stuff I want to do today. This is not on today's agenda. However, so we've had some crazy weather. It has rained every day for like 2.5 weeks, and it was raining like inches at a time. And then the day that it stopped raining, we entered a massive heat wave. And our heat wave ended yesterday. So today the temps are in the 70s. It's actually even a little chilly. I don't think it's hit 75 yet today. It's almost even a little chilly. And after the massive heat, I'll take it. I'm not complaining. So I need to come out and work on this garden. That's evident. All of the rain made everything grow, plants, weeds included, and then the massive heat helped everything grow. And then with me, I'm having some health issues regarding the heat, so I'm actually going to the doctor to get that checked out. But when it was so hot, I literally didn't do anything. I didn't clean my house. I literally didn't even make dinner. I just kind of like heated some stuff, maybe did the dishes. I didn't cook a meal. I really took it easy because I'm all of a sudden in my old age having problems when it's that hot. So with that said, I couldn't come out and do anything in this garden. Not that I would want to work in the heat anyway, but and even now, like, it's 72 degrees or ish, and I feel good, but I also realized that, like, I've had a week of struggles. I'm gonna take it easy. So my plan is not to work in the garden today. However, I did do some weeding. That's what prompted me coming out and doing this video together with you. I kind of stopped what I was doing. I saw a couple things. I'm like, you know what, let's go get the camera and let's do it together. So I feel like this is just like, if you watch me faithfully, my garden is always weedy, and I'm going to complain about it every single time because I hate it. I hate the weediness. However, there is so much life happening here, and I've been able to kind of, like, this area over here I'll show you was the really weedy area. I've been able to get that under control, and so it's made the garden feel a lot better. I will say it is the end of June. It's like June 27th, I think, and we are ahead of schedule, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. The sun this year has been so much more intense than it has been in previous years, so everything is doing better than it otherwise typically would be, which means my plants are bigger than they typically would be, but also the weeds, and not even the weeds, but like the wildness of the garden has already started. Typically I can keep the wildness under control until mid-July, but that's not happened. So the garden has reached that point of wildness, but because we are kind of ahead of schedule by honestly probably a month with how intense our sun has been, we're going to talk about some things that we're going to do coming up. So let me turn you around. So this may not show up on camera too well. This whole area was incredibly weedy. Over here by my greenhouse is where the bunny hutch live. I still have the bunny. She's okay. I just moved her up under a big pine tree. And actually for this past week, when it's been as hot as it has been, she's actually been living in the house full time. So she just came outside a couple of hours ago. And I'm not sure if she's like, yeah, I'm back outside, or boo, I'm back outside. But she is up there and she is safe and sound. However, this area here grew this tall. And then in through here, this whole area really grew a ton of thistle. If you can see, I have a whole bunch of weeds that I just pulled out. Thistle included, that I just pulled this morning. Just made myself bleed. Go Caitlin. This is a massive holly bush. I need a chainsaw to cut down. At this point, it's been too hot to even kind of worry about it. So that's a holly bush that we're ignoring for the moment. But I've been able to clear all this out today and yesterday, or today and last week, I guess. But you can see the corn now, which I'm really excited about. So the saying for your corn, knee high by 4th of July, and we have definitely surpassed knee high, which is always kind of the goal. So I don't have a great corn year. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be happy with whatever I get. I'm gonna be happy with whatever I get. So I think that's still gonna give me a little bit of corn for fresh eating, corn stalks for fall decorating. Definitely not enough for me to put away my own amount of corn. I don't have enough space to grow enough corn that I can preserve all of my own corn, so we have to outsource that. But I just think like this area looks much nicer since I've been able to pull some weeds. I did my first potato harvest today, and I mean, look at these. So I am keeping these separate because I want to weigh these, because these are my volunteer tomatoes. So what I like to do is I like to take these little potatoes that your plant grows, but you could eat these 100%. I like to throw them. And that gives me volunteer potatoes next year. So these are all I keep saying tomatoes. These are all potatoes that I did not have to plant, and I love that for me, right? Who doesn't love volunteer plants? So this is actually the volunteer bed. This was originally the red onion bed. See, I have a whole bunch of these size. I'm just gonna throw them, and they'll give me more potatoes next year. This was the red onion bed, and there are still red onions on this side of the bed. This side, there's nothing. I honestly don't know what happened to them. They're not there. And so it was a lot of weeds. So, a little dirty, but that's why I wear bibs. So I'm excited. I think that's the only potato plants in this space. But I'm excited for that little bit of harvest. Completely free harvest. So this is a volunteer bed. Over here I have a whole bunch of volunteer tomatoes. They were coming this way. I just threw them back over this way. There are tomatoes loaded. These are cherry tomatoes. There are cherry tomatoes loaded on them. And then this whole area here is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of volunteer cherry tomatoes. So I'm gonna let them go for now. I do have cherry tomato plants that I planted, but I'm gonna let these ones go, and at least until I get annoyed of them. I'll take more free food. See, little potatoes? Throw it back in that bed. So most likely we're gonna have potatoes in that bed again next year, and I'm here for it. There are a handful of red onions in here. I'm not gonna leave this bed empty just because I have red onions that aren't really doing anything. Over here I have, look at this tomato. Another volunteer tomato. Oh, there's another potato here. Oh, let's harvest this potato together. I completely missed this one. Look at this potato here. See what we got. So these volunteers are definitely ahead of the potatoes that I planted, and honestly not by a lot. To be completely honest, I could honestly probably pick my other potatoes now. I didn't give me too many. That sucks. Only gave me one medium-sized one. Oh well. Let me put that off. Let me just pull this guy. Well, I'll leave that guy. Put that guy over there. Tons of weeds in here. I'm not even sure what all is in here. Tomatoes. Here are some onions, and the onions are starting to bulb up over here, so that's why I'm trying to leave them go for now. These volunteer potatoes are a little bit ahead of my regular potatoes, but honestly I could probably pull my potatoes I planted. I could pull them any day. They are starting to break the surface of the soil, which is a sign that they're ready to come out. I might pull them this weekend. We'll see. I'm not really in the mood to can potatoes right now, and I need to can some, so we'll see. We'll see when they come out. I'll take you over and I'll show you that in a minute. But this bed here still has some things in it, right? Still has just a couple red onions and some tomato volunteers. This bed can be replanted. What I'm going to replant it with, I don't know. Haven't figured that out yet, but we could replant it. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to put another round of zucchini in, so I have fall zucchini, if I want to put broccoli in, so I have fall broccoli. I know when those onions in my other bed come out, I'm gonna put white single stem sunflowers. I think that's what I might do, because I think that would be nice. Have single stem sunflowers here and single stem sunflowers there, and that'll help add nutrients back into the soil. So we might do that. Not today, but we might do that. Then this bed is just going crazy, loving it. These are carrots that I let go to seed, and I love, so carrot seeds are Queen Anne's lace, and I love them. So we're gonna actually cut some for some flower arrangements here. Well, let's do it now while we're here. Why not, right? So I'm gonna do a couple bouquets today because why not? It's been so hot, and I am ready for some fresh flowers in my house. So let's cut. So my snack peas, if you can see, are kind of on the way out. They're looking a little worse for wear, and it's just been because the heat is so hot. So I picked some, I think, yesterday. So I'm gonna come pick a few more today and have these for dinner. I was able to get some in the freezer, which is good. And right now, actually, that is what I want to do a video on, and I forgot about it until right this second. I got this concept from Jess at Roots and Refuge, so it's not my wording, but it is accurate wording. The burden of abundance. I have so much food coming in. I actually just had to re-change my dinner plans tonight. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm changing it. So my plan was I was gonna make a shrimp po' boy for dinner. What's in a po' boy? Shrimp, bread, mayonnaise, and I was gonna use I was gonna make like a shrimp po' boy like banh mi combination. I had one of those in Atlanta a couple years ago and it was fantastic. So I was gonna use like my pickled coleslaw, my jarred pickled coleslaw. And so for lunch, my parents brought down subs, and we had subs for lunch. So I'm like, I'm not gonna have another sandwich for dinner tonight. So then I was like, okay, Caitlin, I bought a cucumber from the store because my cucumbers never germinated. And so I was like, okay, Caitlin, do a shrimp tempura sushi bowl. I love doing that. I have cucumber that I don't actually like, but I like in sushi. I was like, that'll be great. It's a great summertime meal. It's light, it's delicious. And I'm sitting here as I think harvesting the potatoes, and I'm like, I have so much fresh food to eat that as I was like kind of like doing my first walkthrough a little bit ago, I was like, Keelan, no. Eat what you have. So right now we're in the burden of abundance. When I have so much stuff coming. I have a whole counter of peas inside already on the counter that are gonna get eaten today because they're at this point dried out. They're not fresh. I picked them 2 days ago, I think I said. They're looking rough, and the heat has not done any favors for my peas. So we're gonna eat them for dinner tonight. I have 4 zucchini in there. I have now I have potatoes. There's something else I'm forgetting. I have some lettuce still on the front porch that I need to eat. I have a ton of kale that I personally haven't eaten. I don't think any of the kale. Okay, no, I ate some of it, but I haven't eaten a ton of the kale. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, Keelan, your meal today, your dinner that you're gonna make is all stuff that you're buying. The only thing that you grew is the coleslaw, which is canned. What are you doing? So I don't know what we're doing for dinner tonight, but we are changing up the plan because we are definitely in the burden of abundance where I feel like I have so much stuff coming in and I can't even eat it all fast enough. So you want to make sure you either eat it or preserve it before it goes bad. So don't know what's for dinner tonight, but we are switching up the plan. So a couple weeks ago I did a video and I said I thought my garden was ugly, and my garden heard that and she got offended and she has showed up in force. I am just loving everything. I love a wild garden. I love a garden that just kind of like does what it wants to do. So here I have some dill flower heads, so it gives me a little pop of yellow in here, which I'm loving. I have my kale, I have my onions, I have beans These here are bean plants that are growing up. I do have morning glories trying to really take over like the tomato row, but they've been trying to pull the beans. I'm like, you know what? Give me some beans. I'll take some beans. So the onions here are growing their beans really, really well. They're not really bulbing up yet. I need to get a fertilizer to put on them for their roots, and I haven't gotten anything yet. So I hope I actually get that done before I forget about it. Or without getting too lazy, I guess. We have volunteer sunflowers here. We have our hollyhock here. I don't actually think the hollyhock is blooming. I realized all my hollyhock leaves forever have done this. And I finally Googled it. And Google said it's like hollyhock rust. And it's not normal. So next year, I'm going to see if I can't find a way to treat that. Because I don't know that these black ones really bloomed that well. They have blooms on them, but they almost look like they're spent blooms. I don't know. So these haven't put on the show that they should have put on yet. So next year, hollyhock rust. Figure it out. Coming down here, I just watered the garden because again, the garden's actually been doing really good. This is the most successful year I've had in the garden. Everything is just going amazing. We've had this massive amount of heat. However, none of my plants were showing, none of my plants were showing any signs of stress, which is amazing because they haven't had water. So it rained for 2 weeks straight, but they haven't had any water since it rained. And so none of them showed any signs of stress. Today's the coolest day. We're not gonna get hot again. We're gonna get about to mid 80s. So I was like, you know what, let's just come out and give everything a dose of water. So I didn't do a massive sprinkling or a massive soak. I just did a nice sprinkle. So I think they'll appreciate that. But this is our pepper bed. Our peppers are growing. You can actually harvest our first banana pepper. And what's funny is when I planted these, I did 8 orange gummies and I thought 4 or 5 banana peppers. And then I thought on the ends that I did 2 jalapenos. Well, the end just grew me a banana pepper. So I don't really know what I have in here. I know I have the orange gummies for sure because I planted them or I bought them from the store. I'm hoping I still have enough banana peppers and I didn't just, my goal was only to plant 2 jalapenos because I don't really need jalapenos. So I'm really hoping that I didn't plant just 2 banana peppers and like 8 jalapenos because that defeats what I intended to do. Look at this. I gotta actually stake this guy up. Look at this puppy. Look how big he is. I don't even know how this thing grows. Like, so this is my artichoke. He is so much bigger than I thought he would be. And he is getting so much bushier than I thought that he would be. I'm upset. So I need to get a stake and so I can pull him up and stake him. Because right now he is leaning on some of my peppers. So I just gotta stake him like that. And I don't think I don't have a stake. So I gotta get something. But he has done fantastic in that space. So I don't know if I like artichokes that much, but I am excited. I'm excited to have artichokes and see if I like them. Over here we have our tomato row. We have a zucchini here, a normal size zucchini. That's important to take note of. I'll tell you why in a minute. But we have our tomatoes here. We pruned these almost a week ago, and I need to come back in and do another prune. I think the end ones are good. I think the beginning ones I didn't prune hard enough. I was too scared, and by the end I was like, oh, I got this. So I need to come into the beginning ones here and do another prune. I just have too many leaves on the ground and just kind of restricting airflow a little bit. So I do need to come do another prune, but we have tomatoes growing on them and they're growing up. So I'm keeping my path open, which is really, really nice. And they're growing off the trellis just like I wanted them to. So they're doing great. I brought you along because I wanted to show you this area here. This area is just excelling, absolutely excelling. So here we have our potatoes. These are the potatoes that we planted, and they have a ton of also volunteer tomatoes in here. But yeah, like I said, these potatoes, I can see them kind of starting to break the surface of the soil, so they're ready to come out. But, do you see that right there? Do you see how big that is? That is a zucchini. And that is the biggest zucchini I've ever grown in my life. Look how big that thing is. I mean, that's massive in comparison to like the sunflowers and the cow. Like, that thing is huge. This one is also following suit right beside it. So they have completely blocked this path, but look at, like, come on. And then, look at that. I'm not even sure what that is, but it's a vine that I planted. Maybe a watermelon or a pumpkin. And then I have my cantaloupe growing back there, growing up the trellis. And then I have massive sunflowers. So I don't even know what this is. I think it's a pumpkin. Not sure. But like, this thing has, again, I haven't come out to the garden in like probably a week, and this was not here when I left. And it is absolutely massive, massive, massive. And then I have a ton of volunteer tomatoes growing throughout it. I also have here, I have my cantaloupe coming. That is tons of flowers on that. Oh, so much food. For comparison, as I fall over, this is a watermelon vine. And this is doing really, really good. Do we see how big this is in comparison to that one? And actually everything on that side, if I didn't know any better, I would think that entire half of the garden got like steroids. Everything is so much bigger than I've never grown zucchini plants that big. My God. And then as I fall over, goodness, I can't get my balance today. Here is our cabbage, and we actually are almost ready. This one actually feels ready to pick. That one, little ways to go yet. We are about to be in heavy harvest season, and I might actually take that cabbage and have it for dinner tonight. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner. I gotta figure that out. But one of those cabbages is ready to harvest. Our cauliflower is not ready yet. Our cauliflower has not even headed up yet. So we'll see. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna pull that. Last year, I planted cauliflower, and it got eaten back and eaten back and eaten back, and it finally started growing, and it gave me a head in like September or October. And I actually really liked having fresh cauliflower for the fall. I try to plant a fall garden every single year, and I'm not successful. So I'm like, you know what, if I plant cauliflower now and it doesn't head up until the summer, I don't get it until the fall, I'll take it. I'm not upset about that. So the cauliflower will stay. Let me bring you down and show you the broccoli. The broccoli is a mess. So the weeds are growing like crazy. But I don't have too much happening with the broccoli. So I said I'm gonna give it maybe till next week just to see if the heat that we've had has prevented this broccoli from growing. And then if it has, I'm gonna yank it up. If in a week I see like a whole bunch of little baby broccoli, but that broccoli might come out soon. So what I'm thinking is, in a week, if this broccoli is ready to come out, I can pull out, 3/4 of this whole shaded area. I have some cabbages that are still coming. I have kohlrabi on the side that I want to keep, but I could pull out a lot of this. And whether I replant it or whether I kind of just I have a lot of vine and stuff here. I have the sweet potatoes over on that side of this area. I have pumpkin vines here of a normal size, not like a jacked up size like over there. So I might just like cardboard this real heavily and then just kind of let all these vine and things take over. Or I do know I want to do a massive fall potato harvest. And so I actually have also thought of maybe putting some fall potatoes in here too, and then that wouldn't actually impede the vines growing. So something to think about. So probably in about a week, I'll get this area maybe cleaned out. The potatoes will come out. So that's what's going to be really nice, that it's never happened before. It's like I said, the end of June. So within the first to second week of July, this area is going to be cleaned out. The potato bed is going to be cleaned out. And that area back in that volunteer bed where I said the red onions were, and these onions too probably, all of that will be cleared out. So we see a lot of green right now. That'll all be cleared out. So I know, like I said, there's 2 onion beds. I want to do those white stem sunflowers. I think that'll be awesome. I don't know if I want to try to just put some seeds for some broccoli and cabbage in the ground to see if they'll grow. I don't really know. Potatoes have to go somewhere. I don't know. The options are endless. so much of this garden, which is so funny, it's only June, and so much of this garden is actually almost on its way out, and I will either put it to bed until next spring, or I will find something else to plant in its stead. But I'm obsessed. I love how I said a couple weeks ago I thought the garden was ugly, and there is just so much happening. It is so woo in my heart, and I am loving it. Okay, got a couple more flowers that we're gonna go to the flower farm to pick, and then we're gonna go inside and wrap up this video for the day. Oh, I need to pick some of these too. I have some more. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I'm holding you in one hand. Look at that. Well, you didn't really see it, but I'm picking some more of these. I love Queen Anne's lace. Ugh, I'm hitting my Brussels sprout. I didn't even show you my Brussels sprouts. We have Brussels sprouts that are huge. Green bean trellis is taken off. It has just been a really fantastic year. I'm so pleased. I didn't realize I had cosmos in it. So let's pick some cosmos. Let's actually go in the basket. We have asparagus, so that's a cosmo. These cosmos are really just kind of going wild over here. I am here for it though. These pale pink ones do the best for me. I always start like these bright orange pink ones, and I start or not bright orange, bright pink ones and white ones. I even started orange ones I think last year or this year, and the only ones that germinate for me and like grow for me each year are these pale pink ones. So they are the tried and true cosmo of this homestead. Look at my daylily row, and then I have lilies blooming. I just weeded it this morning, so don't judge it because it had a lot of weeds. What we also need to do is this whole bed back here is not planted. I'm hoping I get to that today. But look what I have here. So this looks very weedy, but we have a lot going on that I'm really excited about. So over here in this bed, I have poppies that I'm going to show you the poppy I just picked. I have gumfrena, and the gumfrena is growing great. I just needed to get longer stems on it so I can put that into my bouquets. And then I have straw flowers that have buds on them. So we should have straw flowers any day, which I'm really excited for. But we have our first fallen in love poppy. This actually wasn't the very first one. There was like 1 or 2 before this guy, but isn't that so pretty? And then we'll put you delicately in there because you are a delicate little lady. And then our very first Lysianthus. Isn't that gorgeous? So I am obsessed with Lysianthus. Next year I want to do a whole bed, a whole one of these raised beds just of Lysianthus. Of course we have zinnias coming. The snapdragons. The snapdragons that I grow, that I started from seed, are tall. The ones I bought from the nursery so far are very short and are not like a cut-in snapdragon. So I'm really hoping that they get taller, but I don't know that I'm gonna be that lucky. They're really pretty in this bed, but this is a cut-in flower bed, so we'll see. Weedy, definitely weedy. I'm not worried about it right now, to be honest. I'm getting plants, I'm getting flowers, I'm getting vegetables. I'm happy about it. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I might go cut a couple more flowers for my daylily bed, but I'm gonna go in and put these guys in some water. Maybe at some point I'll get that bed planted. But I just want to show you everything that's happening, because this is like an unofficial garden tour, but there's so much that is happening between the rain and this heat wave. The garden is just on steroids. It's doing fantastic. I could not be happier. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.